Aqua Earth Explorer.
There are famous wrecks that every diver dreams about. The Thistlegorm, the Yongala, the Fujikawa Maru. But beneath the surface of our planet's most remote waters lie others, forgotten giants that sleep in silence. Each one tells a story of human ambition, of tragedy, and of how life always finds a way back. Today, we're taking the plunge into 10 off-the-beaten-path wreck dives, hidden, wild, and unforgettable. Grab your fins, equalize, and let's descend. Number 10. The Bianca C, Grenada, Caribbean. They call her the Titanic of the Caribbean, and once you see her, you'll understand why. The Bianca C was a luxury Italian cruise liner, stretching over 600 feet long, glittering with chandeliers and ballrooms. But in 1961, just as she prepared to leave Grenada's harbor, an explosion ripped through her engine room. The ship caught fire and burned for 2 days before finally slipping beneath the waves, her decks glowing red against the night sky. Today, she rests upright on the seafloor, between 100 and 165 feet deep. Descending through Grenada's clear blue water, her massive silhouette emerges slowly from the haze, a cathedral of rust and coral. You drop past her smokestacks, now draped in sea fans, and into open corridors where eagle rays drift like ghosts. Peering into the ballroom, you'll see schools of Creole wrasse where passengers once danced. The currents can be strong here, the scale overwhelming, but that's what makes the Bianca C so special. It's less like diving a wreck and more like exploring a forgotten civilization. Number 9. The El Faroud, Malta. Off the southern coast of Malta lies one of Europe's most extraordinary artificial reefs. The El Faroud was a Libyan oil tanker that exploded during routine maintenance in 1995, killing 9 workers. For years, the damaged vessel sat in dock, too broken to repair, too large to scrap. Finally, in 1998, it was intentionally scuttled to create a marine sanctuary. The dive begins with a slow descent through brilliant blue water. At about 50 feet, her vast frame materializes, a steel giant resting on a sandy bottom. Sunlight pours through broken hatches, cutting golden beams through the water. As you swim through her cavernous holds, you'll see octopus curling into corners, amberjack flashing by, and moray eels watching from rusted pipes. It's not just a wreck, it's a monument reborn, a place where death gave way to new life. Each section is safe to penetrate for experienced divers, and inside, the silence feels sacred, like walking through a sunken church lit by the sea. Number 8. SS President Coolidge, Vanuatu, South Pacific. Just off the coast of Espiritu Santo, a coral island in Vanuatu, lies one of the largest and most fascinating wrecks on Earth, the SS President Coolidge. Built as a luxury ocean liner, she was repurposed during World War II to transport American troops. In 1942, a navigation error led her straight into friendly mines guarding the harbor entrance. 2 explosions crippled her hull. The captain ordered full speed ahead to beach her and save his men. Almost everyone made it ashore before the ship slid beneath the surface and came to rest on her side. Diving the Coolidge feels like exploring an underwater city. The wreck stretches more than 600 feet long, descending from just 70 feet all the way to 230. You can swim through cargo holds filled with trucks, jeeps, rifles, and helmets, or find the ship's most famous treasure, a porcelain statue called the Lady. Inside the passageways, lionfish hover motionless, giant trevally patrol the shadows, and soft corals glow in purples and golds. Few wrecks let you feel history like this one does. Every deck, every room, feels frozen in time, an epic story suspended in blue. Number 7. Hilma Hooker, Bonaire. The Hilma Hooker story sounds like a movie. In 1984, Bonaire authorities discovered over 25,000 pounds of marijuana hidden inside her cargo hold. The smugglers were arrested, the ship was impounded, and soon after, it mysteriously sank between 2 reefs. Some say it was sabotage, others call it karma. Either way, the ocean got herself a new resident. What makes the Hilma Hooker incredible isn't just her history, it's how accessible she is. The wreck sits perfectly upright in 100 feet of warm, clear Caribbean water and can be reached right from shore. You glide past the reef's edge, and suddenly her massive hull appears below, streaked with coral and sponges. Tarpon cruise through the passageways, parrotfish nibble at the decks, and the sunlight from above casts perfect dappled patterns across her steel sides. It's one of those dives that beginners and experts alike never forget. Calm, mysterious, and alive with color. Where smugglers once hid contraband, now the sea hides its own treasures. Number 6. The Gunilda, Lake Superior, Canada. Now we trade tropical waters for something colder, and eerily still. Beneath 270 feet of near-freezing freshwater in Lake Superior lies the Gunilda, one of the most perfectly preserved wrecks in existence. She was a millionaire's private yacht, luxurious and gleaming, until arrogance sealed her fate. In 1911, the captain refused a local pilot's advice and struck a reef. Every passenger was rescued, but the Gunilda slipped beneath the icy surface. In the dark clarity of Lake Superior, she looks almost untouched. The wooden railings still intact, the china still set on tables, even the lifeboats still secured. Divers describe her as hauntingly perfect, like diving into a frozen dream. But make no mistake, this is not a casual dive. The depth, temperature, and overhead hazards make it suitable only for experienced technical divers. Yet for those who go, the reward is staggering. A window into another century, preserved by cold water and silence. Number 5. The SS Kilani, Papua New Guinea. Few divers ever reach the SS Kilani, and that's part of what makes it so special. She went down in 1943 during a violent typhoon off the coast of Papua New Guinea, lost amid the chaos of war and weather. The ocean kept her secret for decades, until explorers rediscovered her lying on a steep slope between coral ridges. The dive begins in water so blue it looks painted. As you descend, coral-covered masts and winches appear, stretching into the depths. The wreck's midsection has become a labyrinth of coral bommies, pillars covered with purple soft corals, giant sponges, and feather stars that pulse gently in the current. Reef sharks patrol above, turtles nap on the deck, and schools of sweetlips and snappers swirl through the open spaces. It's a wild, living sculpture garden, a place where nature has completely reclaimed steel. Diving the Kilani feels like discovering Atlantis, untouched, silent, and breathtakingly alive. Number 4. The Nordby, Denmark. In the chill green waters off Denmark's North Sea coast, a ghost from 1918 lies perfectly preserved. The Nordby, a wooden schooner, went down in a fierce winter storm after colliding with another ship. She sank quickly, her crew escaping into lifeboats, leaving her to settle on the sandy bottom just 60 feet down. Cold, nutrient-rich water has turned the wreck into an underwater garden. Her wooden ribs and beams are coated in plumose anemones, their white fronds swaying like lace curtains in the current. Sea stars the size of your hand creep across the deck, and crabs scuttle through her hold. Visibility can swing wildly, from crystal clear to moody green, but that's part of the Nordby's charm. It feels like diving through an old sepia photograph, a reminder of the North Sea's power and the quiet grace of the ships it claimed. Number 3. The Zenobia, Cyprus. The Zenobia isn't unknown, but she's still off the beaten path compared to other Mediterranean dives, and she's one of the most surreal wrecks you'll ever visit. In 1980, the massive Swedish-built ferry was en route to Syria with 104 trucks and trailers when her ballast system failed. The ship slowly rolled onto her side and sank, taking all her cargo with her. Diving the Zenobia feels like entering a futuristic ruin. The ferry now lies on her port side, between 50 and 140 feet deep. As you approach, you can see rows of trucks still chained to the deck, their wheels turned upward into the blue. Groupers lurk in the shadows, sea turtles drift past the propellers, and the hull is draped in vibrant coral. For divers, it's a playground, massive, atmospheric, and endlessly explorable. It's one of those wrecks that makes you feel small, floating through an iron world built by humans and transformed by the sea. Number 2. The SS Governor, Washington, USA. In the misty waters of Washington's San Juan Islands, surrounded by forest and fog, lies a shipwreck straight out of a ghost story. The SS Governor was a grand passenger liner carrying people, cars, and mail to Alaska when she collided with a freighter in 1911. She sank in minutes, her lights still visible from shore as she slipped into the depths. Today, she rests upright in 240 feet of cold Pacific water. Currents sweep through her corridors, bringing with them a living kaleidoscope of color. Wolf eels wind through the railings, giant Pacific octopus curl into crevices, and plumose anemones cover her decks like snowdrifts. The visibility is limited, the water dark and green, and yet it's mesmerizing, every flashlight beam revealing a century of history. It's not just a wreck, it's a full immersion into the Pacific Northwest's cold, wild heart. Number 1. The San Francisco Maru, Chuuk Lagoon, Micronesia. Deep in the heart of the Pacific lies one of the most extraordinary wreck sites on Earth, Chuuk Lagoon, also known as Truk Lagoon. During World War II, this sheltered atoll was Japan's main naval base in the South Pacific. In 1944, U.S. forces launched Operation Hailstone, an aerial assault that sank more than 40 ships in 2 days. Among them was the San Francisco Maru, nicknamed the $1 Million Wreck. The dive is not for beginners. The deck starts at 160 feet, and the holds drop to 210. But for those who make it, it's pure magic. You descend through electric blue water until the shape of the ship appears, ghostly, immense. Inside, tanks, trucks, mines, and bombs still lie in perfect rows. Coral and sea fans wrap around the machinery, and reef sharks patrol above like sentinels. Ghost pipefish drift near the bridge, blending into clouds of anthias. The stillness is almost reverent, a war relic transformed into an underwater museum of life. It's dangerous, deep, and unforgettable, the kind of dive that reminds you why you fell in love with the ocean in the first place. From Grenada to Chuuk, from freezing lakes to volcanic islands, these wrecks remind us that the sea never truly forgets. It reclaims everything we build, but in doing so, it creates something new. A coral-encrusted monument, a living reef, a story written in steel, salt, and time. If you loved this dive into the unknown, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Which wreck is now at the top of your bucket list? Until next time.
Thanks for diving in with me today. If you enjoyed this adventure, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one.